the end zone early.
Yeah.
And we had to kick a field goal from about the 2-yard line. And then in overtime, we sacked T. Martin, and they had like 3rd and 30,
Yep,
and he
I
ran
remember
out of
that.
the pocket 20 yards, and their guy kicked about 42 or 3-yarder, and then we missed a 25-yarder or something like that. Sometimes crap happens, and it happened up there at Rocky Top. So we got beat. What was it
2017.
2017, yeah,
Yep.
2017, and 23-20 was another loss we had at Auburn a few years back. But yeah, 98 team was very good. I think we were first in the conference in defense, first or second in offense, and had a couple of games didn't go our way.
Were you worried when
And,
they started knocking those fences down and coming out on the field?
No, I never.
You had Doc Lucky, right?
No, I didn't worry about that. We'd lost the game. It was history, and it was time to move on. But we'd beaten them 4 or 5 in a row, so maybe the football gods said, you know what, Tennessee, you guys have been pretty doggone
Right.
close. It's time for you to win one. And so they won one.
And then that lost to FSU, which was a tough one because they were
Yeah.
down to their backup quarterback, and I remember
Yeah.
Gerard Warren fell on that fumble in the end zone, but it squirted out. That
That
would
was
have been a big
4-point
play.
play.
Yeah.
But Tony George, we had a little meeting
Yeah.
out there, about this, that, and the other. And the referee, he was pushing and shoving with a guy in blue jeans for FSU. The guy wasn't even dressed out. So they threw the guy in blue jeans out, and the ref came told me before the game, your number 1, Tony George, is out of the game. I said, wait a minute, this is pregame. And I asked some referees later, could he have done that? He said, wasn't supposed to. He wasn't
Really?
supposed to kick him out of the game. But he did, and that hurt us. So I'll take the blame for letting the guys stay out there and sort of hold our ground like we'd done at the national championship and our home game in '97 with those guys.
Right.
So we tried to do the same thing, and they started pushing and shoving, and got Tony George thrown out of the game, and he was a key guy, starting DB, and on all the special teams. It was that's my fault. I take the blame.
That was a great team, though. I mean, again, that was the last year of Bobby Stoops being your coordinator.
Yeah. We finished 5th in the nation. We won the bowl game convincingly over Syracuse down there.
But
Donovan
actually,
McNabb.
Stoopsy was gone, right?
Yeah, he left right
So
before the
Jim
game.
Collins did the.
Bob Sanders. And Jim,
Sanders did,
They
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
together did it. But yeah, we played well down there. Doug Johnson had an excellent game, and Travis Taylor, I think our
Yeah.
receiver, was the MVP.
He was the MVP,
He
yeah.
caught 2 or 3 touchdowns. Yeah, it was a good team, real good team that had a couple of miscues along the way.
Yeah, it's hard though. I mean, again, that goes back to how hard it is to win a national title. I mean, you've got to have everything go right. I mean, even in the year that you did, in '96, you had to get a break. Somebody else had to do
Had to
something.
get a big break.
Yeah.
Well, college football back in our day, well, still there's only 4 teams in the playoff. But FSU, for all the great teams they had, Bobby Bowden, they finished top 4 in the nation. I think it was from '88 through 2000. I think it's 14
Yeah, it was like
years.
14 years.
14
yeah,
years.
Yeah.
Okay. So all those years, he only won 2 national championships. And one of the reasons he played Miami and they played us.
Yep.
And us and Miami and FSU, we were 3 of the best teams in the nation. The other 2 were Nebraska, and actually Tennessee was the other one, had the best records. So anyway, we all played each other pretty much. We played Tennessee and FSU played us in Miami. So there was probably 1 loss. The rest of the nation wasn't going to get, but all of us were bound to have one.
Yeah.
It just seemed like most of the time. So scheduling was so important on who won national championships. It really was.
Did you know during the season that Coach Stoops would eventually? I mean, you knew he was going to leave eventually. Did you think he would leave after that year?
Well, you never know when somebody's going to get an offer.
Yeah.
But if he got an offer like Oklahoma, of course he was going to take it. Yeah.
Because he had interviewed elsewhere before, right? Minnesota, I believe, and
He had a brief one at Minnesota and then Iowa. He went to Iowa.
Did he?
And they hired the guy who's there now, Kirk Ferentz.
Ferentz, yeah.
Who's still there. So I think Ferentz is the coach that's been there longer than any other coach in the nation right now. So, Bobby, he it was a wonderful opportunity to go to Oklahoma. Speaking of Oklahoma, they're in Omaha also. All their
they do
sports teams,
everything. Yeah.
they're the overall sports team in the nation right now. It seems like
So, they won golf, they won gymnastics, they won softball.
Yeah, softball.
They're in there. They could win baseball in theory. They obviously had a good football team. Their basketball team wasn't bad. It's amazing.
They've done a lot of good things. But we have to, so anyway, that's the way it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So your summer is, you going to play a lot of golf this summer?
Oh, I don't play like I used to. I'll play a little bit of golf, but I don't play near as much as I once did.
Yeah, I've been trying to play a lot, and I get frustrated.
Yeah. Yeah, when we don't play as well as we once did, it's hard to say, hey, I'm going to go play golf today. But yeah, I may actually go out later today and hit a few balls and go from there.
So I'm guessing you're not a big hockey fan, right?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit every now and then.
So do you like the Lightning, or is it?
Tampa Bay Lightning, certainly. Tampa Bay, have they won how many in a row? 2? Have they won 2 hockey?
They won 2 of the last 3, yeah.
Stanley Cups.
World Cup, Stanley Cup.
Yeah. So they're right there knocking on the door for another one. Yeah.
Yep. And that's the thing. Yeah. We were at a time where there's not. We're so used to having something every weekend with Gators, and now all of a sudden it's stopped, and it's almost like you got to figure out what to do.
And NBA basketball is tonight also. Yep. They're 2-2 the games, Boston and the Warriors. So that's going to be a heck of a finish, I think.
Looking forward to that. Yeah. All right. Well, that'll do it for our time with Coach. You got anything else, Coach, you want to talk about?
That's about it. That's about it right now. Just the officially over. Everybody can start talking football pretty soon, right?
I think it starts, I'll give it a week.
Give it one more week.
Then we'll be officially talking season.
Yeah. And Coach Napier had some recruits in here last week, and I got a chance to go up there and talk to him. And, of course, I was singing the praises of Coach Billy Napier and the staff. And I told the guys, I said, listen, Utah was number 6 in the nation preseason. That USA Today poll came out a while back. And we weren't even ranked, which we don't deserve to be ranked probably with the way we finished last year. I said, but we opened with Utah, fellas, and we are a 2-point favorite. Did you know that?
I did not know
we are 2-point favorites. So that's what the gamblers or the predictors or whoever, they believe that Coach Napier and our staff here are going to have our guys ready to play. They think Anthony Richardson can be a heck of a player, heck of a quarterback, and can really do some big things. So there's a lot of positive stuff when you say, hey, the Gators are favored over the number 6 team in the country. So
a lot of that has to do with what you built here with the swamp. I mean, I think Florida gets more points with the gamblers when they're playing at home than any other team because of the swamp.
The crowd and all that. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit of advantage. But I think they look at Billy Napier's background and what he did at Louisiana there. They won their conference championship last year, and I thought that was pretty neat. His players knew he was leaving, and he stayed there and won the conference championship game. And so there's a lot of confidence that he can get it done.
Yeah, and again with Anthony Richardson, I mean, he might be a Heisman candidate, but I mean, he's also, the sample size isn't that big. It's hard to kind of know what you're going to get there. It's kind of like it was with Emory last year going into
I think Anthony has grown up. Yeah, I mean, we all do some stupid stuff when we're freshmen or sophomores, sometimes even as juniors. But anyway, I think he's grown up and he's ready. I think he's ready, but time will tell. He's got to prove he can be there game after game, week after week, and maintain, just a wonderful attitude all the way through, and get the entire team believing in him. And if that happens, we could possibly have a big year this year.
Can you imagine if you had a place like Visors to recruit to when you were here?
Oh, we recruited pretty doggone well.
Yeah, you did. That's right.
We were always in the top 10. Now FSU out-recruited us overall back in those days, but we got our share.
Yep, absolutely. Mm-hmm. All right, we'll let Coach Spurrier go. We'll have him back next Monday for Meldon Monday. Of course, Meldon Law brings you Coach Spurrier every Monday, and we appreciate him coming in. We'll be back. We'll do all of our fun stuff, including Robbie Andrew will be doing Yes, No Way, or Maybe segments. So we got all kinds of stuff for you here on Another Dooley Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios.
Alberta, I understand you were witnesses to a crash. Can you tell us about the accident? When you're in a crash, it's important to get witness statements immediately after the accident. Whether you're in a car, truck, motorcycle, scooter, or even a golf cart accident, at Meldon Law, we won't back down.
Another Duly Noted podcast comes to you from the Coaches Podcast Room at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill and Celebration Point. You can watch and listen to us on Facebook and YouTube for every podcast that we do on Mondays and Fridays at 2 o'clock. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Overcast, any of the other 39 platforms where you can find this podcast or your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below or call me if you want to do some advertising at 352-317-3444.
Great food, great atmosphere, a diverse menu, everything made from scratch, plenty of space, and locally owned. These are all the characteristics of a great restaurant, and you can find each and every one of them right here in Gainesville at Ballyhoo Grill. Ballyhoo Grill prepares all of their food fresh every day, from their salad dressing to their award-winning soups. Bring your family and enjoy dinner under the Tim Trebo Tiki Hut while listening to live music. Or if you're running low on time to eat out, they also deliver through Uber Eats, Bite Squad, and Postmates. A Gainesville staple that's been open for over 30 years. Check out Ballyhoo Grill on Facebook or at ballygrill.com.
Hello there, everybody. I'm Pat Dooley, of course, from Another Duly Noted Podcast. And this is a great Adam Brewer, and he's just opened up a place here, Adam Brewer To Go. What would give you the idea to do this, to have a to-go place like this?
We really like the fast concept, being able to get the barbecue. Now we have this new online ordering. So before it was a call ahead carry out, quick service. We have like a curbside kind of a deal where everything's ready to go for you. And then we thought, wow, we have a really great dine-in concept, but how can we make this streamlined for the customer and make it easy and accessible for all parts of town?
Adam's Rib Co. To Go. Come on down and enjoy it.
Things have certainly got a little out of hand lately when it comes to just buying our everyday necessities. Just look at gas, streaming services, and heck, even chicken wings. Well, there is one necessity that shouldn't cost a ton: taking care of yourself and helping fix all the aches and pains in life. And the fine folks at Titan MRI agree. With costs a fraction of what you'd pay at a hospital, you'll not only save money, you'll be taken care of by staff with over 20 years experience. So when you need an MRI, call Titan first, and you can go where your doctors send their families. Now offering CAT scans.
Okay, welcome back to Another Duly Noted Podcast presented by Titan MRI, as always, and our good friend over there, Joe Calorio. Love that guy. Man, I need to see him this summer. He's so busy with Gator, or he doesn't do Gator Bowl. He does another version of baseball, with his son. I need to get him out for a couple of beers. Of course, we are at the Meldon Law Gator Studios. We got a lot of things to cover here in the last segment, including a yes, no way, or maybe with Robbie Andrews. So that'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, Robbie's appearances are brought to you by Hand Law for just the rest of this month. And then Robbie's appearances are open for anybody who wants to be a sponsor of Robbie's appearances. By the way, the reason we weren't wearing our Meldon Law golf shirts today, Coach Spurrier and I, is we had to get them washed because they were getting a little game. So we'll have them back on Monday of next week, hopefully. But it was so funny when Coach Spurrier put on his shirt the other day. He goes, "Who was wearing this? This thing stinks." I'm like, I think that might have been me. Sorry, Coach. All right, it is time for our Hesser and Kipke Power 5 and Bottom 3. And we always love Hesser and Kipke, and of course they're a double sponsor. They may be changing up a sponsorship and moving over to the three things we have to still talk and negotiate about that. But Hesser and Kipke is texting somebody else. What were you texting?
Robbie, Andrew, just to make sure he's good.
Oh, okay. No, Hesser and Kipke, of course, they do the games of the weekend, and they also do our Power 5 and Bottom 3. Is a law firm, of course, based in Hale Plantation, specializing in employment, workers' comp, and family law. Visit their website at www.hklawfl.com or call Ken and Jennifer at 352-339-9920. Ken Hesser and Jennifer. We love them being a part of this show, and they've been a big part of this show. And I appreciate, again, all the people who sponsor it. Look, we talk about this all the time. I know it sounds like I'm always trying to plug for sponsors. I even did it at the quarterback club the other night. But it's just to keep this thing going because we like doing it. We love doing this podcast. I love doing it with Evan, and we want to keep it going. But it's got to be supplemented. That's just the way it works. So the Hesser and Kipke Power 5. Let's start off. Every time I think, well, it's time for the Yankees to swoon. They even swooned in that movie 61. They don't want to swoon. They refuse to swoon. They're swoon proof. 9-1 their last 10 games. They are number one. There's no question about it. The only other team that has 40 wins is the Mets, and they're number 2 so far this season. It's crazy. My number 3 team are my Atlanta Braves, who have now won 11 straight, and I don't care what crappy teams they're playing. 11 straight is 11 straight, and they're finally maybe, again, I think they pulled within 6.5 of the Mets. But the way they're playing is great. And it's funny because I know Ken's a big Phillies fan. The Phillies have won a bunch in a row, and then they lost yesterday. So that was the only thing that kept them from being on it. I was going to finally get them on the list of the Power 5. Number 4, the Dodgers at 37-23, and number 5 is San Diego at 37-24. So that's your Power 5. Yankees, Mets, Braves. Can't say it enough. LA Dodgers and San Diego. Wow, is that all but one teams in the National League? That's interesting. The bottom 3 has changed because the Royals now have the most losses of any team, and that's not good. They are number 1 in the bottom 3. Still up there are the Reds. Obviously, at number 2, and then Oakland at number 3, not playing very well. Each of them have 21 losses. I couldn't read my writing there for a minute. And I was honorary mention for the bottom 3. I've got to put both the Cubs and the Pirates in there because both of them have lost 6 in a row. Now, the Pirates lost 6 in a row because they lost 3 in a row to the Braves. And that's the problem. You get into a hot team, you lose games. You are a hot team, you win games. And hopefully the Braves can keep that going. So that is our Hesser and Kipke Power 5 and bottom 3. We appreciate Hesser and Kipke for being a sponsor here. The Adams Ribco to Go Gator of the Weekend. And this was a tough call, but again, it only had to do with track. And I know that next week we'll probably change up what we're going to do with the Gator of the Week, which we did last year. Remember we did that what did we do? Mount Rushmore for all the different sports. We'll come up with something like that for the Adams Ribco to Go to keep it going through the summer. Although when there is a Gator of the Week deserving, for example, if Sam Horsfield wins the U.S. Open this week, well, he'll be the Gator of the Week, even though he is playing on that other tour, and I'm not happy with it. But our Gator of the Week and this weekend, I could give it to 100 different track people. Instead, I'm giving it to the man, Mouse Holloway. 2 national championships. I think it's 11 that he's won so far. 11 national championships in anonymity over there. Most people, if they saw him on the street, wouldn't even know him, and just keeps doing his job and doing an incredible job with it. It's amazing, and I think that he deserves some recognition. I'll give him the recognition. And I've written up several stories on him in the past, but he's just a great guy. And I think I was trying to remember whether he told me that he got his nickname from his grandmother because when he was young, he was quiet as a mouse or he scurried around like a mouse. I'll have to go back and look at that story. But anyway, his name is Mouse, but it's actually Mike. So congratulations to them. That's a great way to end it. Look, we've talked about this multiple times. This has been an exhaustive season for Florida fans. To go what you went through in football, where you thought you might, if Emory Jones is just good enough, we could play for a national title, we can get into the playoffs, and you're right there, and you barely lose to Alabama. Well, all right, we just got to win out. And then you end up with a team so bad they fired the coach. Then have a basketball team that started off so great. You thought things were going to go great, and you end up the coach leaves. He wasn't going to get fired, but he was going to have a long talking to. But he got out. And then you had what happened with soccer, and you had what happened with basketball, and of course what the job that she was able to do was tremendous. But it's been kind of exhaustive for Gator fans, but in the end, you wrap it up with a pair of national champs. So that is our Adams Ribco to go Gator of the weekend. It is time for us now to go to Yes, No, Way, or Maybe, and to do Yes, No, Way, or Maybe, we go to the Big Mills Cheesesteak Zoom line and get Robbie Andrew on. Can you hear me, Robbie Andrew?
Yep, Pat, can you hear me?
I can. You look like it's all sunny where you are. Usually when I do my Zooms, it looks like I'm in a cave somewhere.
Yeah, I'm in our family room, which is like a sunroom. So
nice. I got to work on
no
that.
rain over here.
All right. So Yes, No, Way, or Maybe. We'll start out with number one. Of course, Yes, No, Way, or Maybe is brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteaks. If you go in there and order something, you get free French fries with your order. If you just mention Another Dooley Noted Podcast, and of course it's street finding done right. Robbie, number one. Somebody who's on the LIV tour wins the U.S. Open. Yes, No, Way, or Maybe.
Maybe, Pat, because, some of the better players have gone over there. Dustin Johnson definitely could win it. And, they'll all be there. Patrick Reed, guys that are proven, and some big-name guys. So, yeah, maybe. I'm not going to say yes or no way, just a maybe on that one.
What was your take on Rory this weekend?
I thought he played great. And he won that tournament last year, and the fans up there kind of adore that guy. And he played great. Every time he got a little bit challenged, he'd hit a shot stiff and make another birdie.
Exactly. I think he is now the ambassador.
I was disappointed that Justin Rose didn't close out the way he should have. He could have easily had a 58.
Yeah, could have had a 57.
Oh, yeah.
In theory, he could have had an 18.
It was entertaining. Yeah, it was an entertaining day of golf. Without some of the big names.
Well, and again, I didn't miss him, but they could not have had a situation where it was, like Luke List and Wyndham, whatever that guy's name was, fighting it out. Everybody would have said, well, I'm not going to watch this. But I was. Yeah, but the
leaderboard they had, Pat, was really good, so nobody missed anybody. And who's ever going to miss Patrick Reed anyhow?
No, nobody. Not even his family would miss him.
They never miss him.
Yeah, that's right. They don't. they don't miss him at all.
No, they're glad he's gone, probably.
Number two on Yes, No, Way, or Maybe, Robbie, you will watch a College World Series game this week.
Maybe. I mean, to me, the only reason I was watching was to see Tennessee get their comeuppance, and that was great. And like somebody posted on Twitter, they had the score, but they marked out Notre Dame and put Karma 9 Tennessee or 7 Tennessee 3, which is so appropriate. They kind of embraced that we're a bunch of egotistical idiots and we don't care, and now they're gone. So that was great.
And that's the thing. When you lose, when you do that, it's not going to look good. If you win and you do that, you can kind of go, hey, this is the way we do it. We just do it this way. And I look back at Mouse Holloway, Robbie, a guy who has no ego, and you don't even know he's the coach half the time and has won 11 championships. That's how you win them.
I know. He does it the right way, no question about it, Pat. But, yeah, Tennessee, they did embrace that, we're going to be arrogant and full of ourselves and be complete asses at times, but that's just who we are. So, now they're no longer. They're gone.
Flip birds during a regional, flip birds at the outfielder after he misses a ball. Yeah,
slamming your bat down, getting thrown out for using the F word in front of the umpire. Come on.
Yep, out. You're
no class.
You're with everybody else. Florida, FSU, Miami. You're all out. Done. Finished.
Yeah.
Kaput. All right. Finally, on Yes, No, Way, or Maybe. Number 3, Robbie. Florida gets a big commitment this weekend. Now, I know that Saturday is supposedly the day that Jaden Rashada is going to commit somewhere, but I mean, I don't know that he's going to Florida. I think it's going to be a tough battle to get him, but I feel like Florida needs to get a big commitment this week.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Pat. Even though it is still only June and signing day is December, but they put all this effort into it and all this positive feedback. And I think people are ready for some good news to break on that front. So I'm gonna say yeah, they're gonna get one this week. I just kind of feel that one's about to break for them. So we'll see. I don't know who it's gonna be. I don't know if it'll be the quarterback or not. Like you say, he's gonna be a tough pull, but they've done everything they can to get that guy. So that's all you can do.
Yep, he's really good, really talented as well. So are we gonna play?
So
golf
they're
this
getting
week?
a commitment. Huh?
Are we gonna play golf this week?
You want to?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. What day?
I'll let you know.
We'll talk later today. I'll see you later today.
Yeah, because Robbie's doing the radio show again today. Jeff's on a birthday mission, so.
Man, they're gonna get tired of me.
Nah, I don't think so. But we're tired of you right here, so we're gonna let you.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, Robbie, we'll see you.
Okay, thanks, Pat.
All right, Robbie Andrew joining us here on Yes, No Way, or Maybe. We love Yes, No Way, or Maybe, brought to you by Big Mills Cheesesteaks and street dining done right. We appreciate Big Mills for being a sponsor. Our Leonardo's Quick Picks. Now, I can't give you the qualifiers from the last one from Friday because the game is tonight. So we'll find out how many of you qualify. I know a lot of people went both ways, so we should get a lot of qualifiers. And then we're going to do this one today, which will be for the U.S. Open. What does Rory shoot on Thursday? It's going to be tougher for a lot of people to qualify because I think you go 68, 69, 70, 71, 72. Who knows what he's going to shoot? So there'll probably be one person who gets it right, but that's what we're going to ask for the Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks, and we'll put it up, posted as well on Facebook and YouTube or Twitter. So those of you who get on it late, you'll be able to enter it and qualify. And we'll probably, I'm guessing next Friday, we'll pull a winner. Again, I've still got to get the last winner what he won. I've got it all in my garage. I just got to get it to him. So that is our Leonardo's at Millhopper Quick Picks. All right. And finally, as we finish up another Dooley Noted podcast presented by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios, it is time for three things. It's an orphan right now. We'll see if we get somebody on board with it. I think we may be ready to do that, and that'll be a lot of fun. Number one, the SEC lost its team that everybody thought would win it all in Tennessee. Well, that's okay. They're okay. Don't worry about it. They've got three teams in, and if Auburn wins today on Monday against Oregon State, which would be tough, it's at Oregon State, but if they do, they're good enough to win, the SEC will have 4. Or you could say the SEC will have 6 because Texas and Oklahoma are there, and they're coming to the league. We might as well go ahead and count them. Why are all these other teams bothering? Why do they even bother coming? Notre Dame and the winner of Stanford, UConn will be the only teams that don't have SEC affiliation. Pretty amazing. And that again shows you the difference for the most part. Although, look, I admire that Notre Dame team to play. Obviously, you can't play baseball in late January very often in Notre Dame, and whereas youngsters down here are all playing all year round. So give them a lot of credit. But the SEC, I mean, Greg Sankey's going to have a blast out there. He's never going to go, none of our teams are playing today. None of our teams are playing this game. Everybody's going to be playing all the time. So he'll have fun. And he and I spent a lot of time together when we were out there and had a blast, ate a lot of dinners together. I envy him a little bit because I do love going there. I really do. Number 2 on 3 things is that Florida State this week fired Mike Martin, or last week, I guess you would say technically, correctly. Fired Mike Martin Jr., which was a little bit of a surprise. I mean, he hadn't done much. He got him into the regionals and stuff like that, but I mean, it just wasn't, it didn't seem to be working out, but it feels like it was totally we got to let you go. You're not quite what your father was, but the main thing is this coach at Notre Dame who played here, Link Jarrett, is a guy we need to go get, and as soon as they're done, we'll go get him. Well, you can't go get him right now. And look, it doesn't matter how far he goes. If he goes all the way to the final and they win it all, if he's going to come to FSU, he'll come to FSU. They'll have back channels talking. It's going to happen if that does happen. I personally, Link Jarrett, right now I bought your T-shirt. Don't go to FSU. Don't ruin it. That would kind of ruin it. But That to me, it feels like one of those, we're going after him. And they may have already talked to him and said, and he may have said, his agent may have said, yeah, he's, how much money, let's get the money all worked out. When he's done, I'll bring it to him. But believe me, he wants to come here. It could be. Or it could be that Notre Dame ponies up some money too, but I don't know that they will. I don't know. We'll see what happens there. Finally, number 3. A story that broke today because there was a open records thing that somebody filed. I can't remember who it was from. I think it was on3sports.com. We've had On3 Sports people on here. That Texas A&M, basically, when Nick Saban had his comments a few weeks ago, wanted him fined and maybe put on probation and maybe miss some games because of that. And, of course, the next day before they could even, after they had called the commissioner and said, we want action taken here, their coach went off and acted like a bigger buffoon, so they just had to reprimand them both. I wonder if Jimbo had said, look, I'm not going to say a word, would they have had the guts? There's another word there, but I don't know that it's appropriate. Cojones, would that work? To suspend Nick Saban for a game. Like if you do it for the opener, I think they have a tough opener this year. They always do. They always play somebody in one of those non-con games somewhere. But would they have had the guts to do that? I don't know if they would have or not. We'll never know because once Jimbo opened his big fat mouth, now you couldn't. Whatever you did for one, you had to do for the other. If you could suspend them both for 10 games, that's what you had to do. You couldn't do it one way or the other. But, man, that feud is just not going to go away. Every time we think it's kind of died out, it pops back up again. And it'll be interesting. And that's one thing I think this summer we're going to do. We're going to kind of give you like the best weekends for college football. We're going to be very college football heavy, and we always are, but we're going to really be college football heavy once we get into, June. Well, we're in June, like late June, early July, and then leading up to the SEC Media Days in Atlanta, which will be a lot of fun. So we're going to definitely go heavy on college football. So one of the things we're going to do is talk about with Coach Spurrier about different teams he's had, but also other people about what they see going forward. As I've mentioned before, I think it's Georgia, Alabama, and then it's like 9 teams that might be good, but I don't know if they're going to be any good. But that was interesting when Coach Spurrier brought up that I didn't know Florida is favored to win that game against Utah. And that is a lot of it's the swamp. The swamp, the gamblers like the swamp. They tend to give Florida a lot of points for the swamp, even though at times the swamp hasn't been the swamp. I think I said swamp enough in that sentence. Okay. All right, so that'll do it for our 3 things, and it'll do it for our show today. Again, brought to you by Titan MRI from the Meldon Law Gator Studios, and, of course, Meldon Law sponsoring Steve Spurrier Mondays as well. We appreciate all you guys. If anybody wants to, to get in touch with me, it's not hard to become a sponsor. We've got a couple of things open right now for you, and we're happy to have you. Evan, thanks for doing a great job as always today. And next Monday we'll have shirts, clean shirts. Are you going to fold them too, or will they be pressed? Dry clean. Like you don't do enough around here. You have to start shirts. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. We appreciate all of our sponsors. We appreciate Evan. We appreciate Coach Spurrier. Appreciate Robbie Andrew. We will be back on Friday with another show. I'm not sure who the guest is. It'll be a good one. I'll make sure I post it so you guys know. Until then, I'm Pat Dooley saying I am deep, I am way back, and I am out of here.